it's all right to talk about that, because that's the future.
Whatever, yeah, it's sad, whatever happened to the joys of the physical part of having music. Like, one thing I love more than anything is buying records. And this because I just love having a physical record and like physically putting on a record player, having it in your hands and like looking at it while you're listening to it just is so like different than plugging in earphones to your ears. And I guess that's an acquired, like not an acquired, but that's just a taste thing. Like some people
Generational. That's how I feel about books. I hate ebooks. I can't stand it. I need to have a physical copy of a book.
Well, obviously, I mean,
I
life is
purchased one
obviously the way
ebook
to
in
go.
my life, and it was only because I would not pay real money for it in real life. Because I can delete it and get rid of it. I don't
What
have
book
to
was
worry
it?
about actually throwing it away. It's a book titled "I Just Want My Pants Back."
I'd go see live music even if the band wasn't that great.
It's alright.
I remember seeing it, it wasn't that great, but.
About drug culture in New York.
All right, let's see,
Was it good?
we're
Was it
down to
bad?
number 3 now, I believe, is that right? And Elizabeth is gonna tell us, since you're the first one on number 3, Elizabeth, would you tell us, make some sort of a statement about all 4 of them and where they might be found?
The first one I believe is a C sharp, and I thought it was middle C, black key just above middle C.
That is correct. How many of these 4 are going to be on the right side of middle C? 3 of them, and 1 of them will be not, okay? Josh, is yours one that is on the right?
Yeah,
All right, tell me what it is.
it is the third black key in from the right.
3rd black key from the right, F sharp, very good. And Doc, the next one?
That is an A sharp and it's the first black key on the right.
That's exactly right. The A sharp is the first black key on the right. Some of us know it better as B flat. And then, Noah, the last one is an A double sharp.
Okay. Would that be, hold on. Would that be the second black key from the left? No, wait, stop.
Right.
Stop. That didn't even mean that. What am I thinking? Is it just the one to the left of middle C?
It is, exactly. It is one white key to the left of middle C because A double sharp reminds us mostly of B. doesn't it? Let me ask you this, let me just tease you, Brandon, a little bit, and some of you will immediately catch it, but seems like every time we say A double sharp or anything double sharp, it turns out to be a white key above it to the right. Or if I said F double sharp, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it that way, but every time we say double sharp, it ends up being a white key. Is there a double sharp of anything that could turn into a black key?
B and E.
Very good. B and E. A B double sharp would actually be the C sharp key. And E double sharp would actually be the
F sharp.
F sharp key. Now, let me also tell you though, that hardly ever do we run into B's and E's for double sharps. And I bet you're dying to know why.
We are.
Absolutely perishing in my seat right
Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest.
Well, this is actually a lesson that we will go over in detail in about 3 weeks.
Yay.
So I'm going to kind of go fast, all right? But
Do you remember we taught you that song by now? Fully bought it already in Master Trucker?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and whistled it, that was fun. And broken, whistle, messed up.
what happens to cause us to use double sharps and double flats are to get to keys that have double sharps and double flats, okay? And we very seldom want to do that. But there are certain things that composers fear, and those certain things are what usually cause us to end up in these terrible keys. And one of those things that composers fear there's sort of a general assumption that the longer you are in a key, the more boring your audience will get. So that you do have to change keys if you're going to go longer than, say, 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Jazz maybe squeezes that a little bit. Sometimes we go a little bit over 5 minutes all in the same key. But basically, the longer the tune, the more often you should change keys, and you should usually go up, because it just gives the feeling of getting somewhere, so to speak, so that the audience feels that. Now, where do we have music that is so long? Well, obviously, musicals are a good spot. We come out and we have to have everybody sing a verse, and then turn right around and everybody's got to dance to it. And then we have to have a little dialogue, and then somebody has to sing to it again, and we probably covered at least 5 or 6 times where we should move up, all right? But let's say we start out, if you're an alto saxophone player, we'll say we started out in 5 sharps, which would be the key of D to saxophones, all right? And we're really in 2 sharps, but if you're a saxophone player, that's 5 sharps, all right? So that's the key of B. All right, now, every time we move up, unless we decide to use an enharmonic key, which is something that they do a lot, which helps a little bit, we have to add sharps, okay? And there is a certain way of going about it, too. Your consumer ear will allow to add 1 sharp, subtract 1 sharp. That's about the length of what your consumer ear will be. And if you do that, of course, you're going to have chords that are similar from one key to another. And that's why your ear allows you to do it. If you add 2 sharps, it's a little bit harder for the consumer's ear to accept, because it felt like maybe we skipped, the record skipped. Same way with going down 2 sharps. Well, anyway, let's say we're going to keep adding, and we end up in the key of D sharp. Anybody know what the key signature of D sharp is?
6 sharps.
What's that?
That'd be 6 sharps.
That's close. Let me ask you this. How many are in the key of D?
Well, are we talking about the saxophone still?
No, sorry.
Oh, 2.
There's 2, all right. So if we go everything up a half step, how many sharps are there total?
I
7?
want to say 6. Yeah, 7.
There's 7 sharps. So if we start out with 2 and then we add 7 sharps, that makes it 9, right? And you're thinking, if we only have 7, how can we have 9? Well, and the way that is you have a double F sharp, a double C sharp, then a G sharp, a D sharp, an A sharp, an E sharp, and a B sharp. All right, so as you see in the order of sharps, B and E are the last ones. So we have to go all the way over to the key of E sharp or the key of B sharp. And the key of E by itself is 4 sharps for most people and 7 sharps for saxophones. And the key of B itself is 5 sharps for everybody and 8 sharps for saxophones. So you can imagine it, when you just get to plain E and plain B, you're quite a ways out there in the spectrum of keys. If you go all the way around to sharp everything to the time you get to E sharp and B sharp, you are so far past that everything is sharped, and 5 or 6 of these sharps will be double sharps. So basically, we hardly ever get into keys that include even a G sharp. When we see an F double sharp and a C double sharp, that's about as far as we're going. Now, there are some cases where we can create one of the others by borrowing a chord from another spot. But most of the time, we'll not play in a key signature that has more than 1 or 2 double sharps. Same way with flats. The most used 2 double flats are B double flat, E double flat, and then of course there's A, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. If we get all the way down to F double flat, we are in a world of hurt, because that means all of these are double flat. And that's why I said we hardly ever find one of those. All right. Berwick before I lost my mind. You guys weren't even born before I lost my mind.